Bob Fryer here in the AAPEX studio. As always, a big shout out to our sponsors, Repairify and Great Water 360 Auto Care. Very happy right now to be joined by Stuart Charity. He is the CEO of the Australian Aftermarket Association. Stuart, great to have you here with us.
Thanks,
Good
Bob.
to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're basically the down under version of the Aftermarket Association here in the States, exactly?
Exactly right,
Okay.
yes. Almost a carbon copy version.
Right.
So we represent the whole end-to-end supply chain of the independent aftermarket in Australia.
Yeah.
We also do a bit of specialty equipment, so think SEMA here, and we're the all-encompassing national association.
Well, as you know, here in the States, they're fighting hard for the right to repair. The Repair Act is still finding its way through Congress. They had a hearing a couple of months ago, so that's good. But down in Australia, you got it through. It's a law. It's been that way for about 15 months.
It has, yes.
How's it going?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It took 10 years to get the law through, but it has been in place for 15 months. I've got to say, we couldn't have done it without the support of AutoCare and AutoCare Association, and also the Massachusetts law, which came in a number of years ago. That really gave us the precedent to get the law over the line in Australia.
Let me ask you this. How close is the law that you got passed to the version that we're trying to get passed here in the United States? And can what you guys did in Australia be a roadmap for how the Aftermarket Association here in the States could go about things?
Yeah, look, and what we do, look, our law is very, very close. In fact, what we do is, because we're in a global industry, different language, different culture, but same issues everywhere in the world, and we're fighting the same car manufacturers using the same tactics. So we caucus on the composition of best practice legislation, and it's really about making sure independent repairers have all the information, all the tools that they need to be able to repair people's vehicles in the same form and format, on the same commercial terms, and in the same time frame. So there's a lot of consistency with the laws, and from what I understand, the Repair Act is very similar to what we've got now. Yeah,
you had mentioned 10 years that it took, and some
Yes.
people might go, "Oh, that's forever." But I was in Washington, D.C. for the legislative summit where the Aftermarket Association did go and try to speak for Congress, talk to our representatives there, and one of the people that was doing the advocacy had an interesting take. You know, laws should be difficult to change. Laws should be hard to get to be pushed through because they're important, and there was a reason the law was made to begin with, and to change it, it should be difficult and take some time. Do you agree with that?
I absolutely agree with that, and governments will try all avenues. They all go through voluntary codes. We did that. They go through various reviews and so on, and you're right, it should be hard. I guess the other thing too is that we were not only the first country in the world to have right to repair legislation federally, but we're also the first sector in any sector in Australia to have their own competition laws. So this was the first time the Australian government had changed our Competition Act to encompass the independent repair sector. And it wasn't about protecting our sector, it's about protecting car owners' rights to choose who repairs their vehicle, what parts are fitted on it, and it keeps the price of car ownership lower. So this is a consumer issue, not an industry issue.
Were you facing the same challenges that they're facing here, the manufacturers and their powerful attorneys and so forth?
Absolutely. As I said, the car manufacturers operate in a very similar way in every country they operate. They're very powerful lobbyists. They have lawyers at 1,000 paces. And a lot more resources at their disposal. So, but what we have is people power, both from an industry point of view. So we took a really grassroots approach. We involved our independent workshops in hosting members of Parliament. We took them to our Parliament in Canberra to meet with the legislators, and slowly but surely we just chipped away, and in the end we were able to get the bill through almost in record time. We had bipartisan support, major party in government, the opposition and all the minor parties are all lining up to support this because it's good reform. It keeps markets competitive and it makes sure that consumers get the most for their buying power.
Well, Stuart, it was a pleasure talking to you. I know you got a long flight back, so safe travels.
Thanks, Bob.
All right, sir, thank you. And as always, when you're here at AAPEX 23, make sure you're taking those pictures and videos and posting them on your social media sites. Use that hashtag AAPEX 23. And it's Bob Fryer here in the AAPEX studio.